Hi there. As I mentioned in the Discord, I had debated whether to do the extra little stream tonight or not. I still have to finish up the video for tomorrow, and I still have a lot of cleaning to do from rearranging stuff around the place in order to be able to free up to be able to talk tonight. Alas, with the Steam Spring Sale going on, I wanted to kind of show off a game that's on sale that is still in early access, but the 1.0 is probably coming in the next year or so. It's been in development for a while. It's a roguelike JRPG that will eventually have 100 plus classes that you can play through. Right now it's at 80-some. It's about to get an update to bring it up to the 94, I think, and add Act 5. And it'll eventually have 6 acts and over 100 classes. I'm just going to start with a fresh save from the very beginning and go from there. But it has the pure roguelike mode or the story mode. So we're just going to play right in with the story mode here. And you can see, I have never gotten super duper far into the game. I was enjoying my time with it, but I was just letting it cook until it actually got pretty much done. We're going to start right with the tutorial. So, set a couple years in the future in Canada. We have a main character called Claire Quinn, and Claire is doing some experiments, trying to figure out what's going on. Might be able to guess it's time related by the game's title, Time Break Chronicles. Running a systems diagnostic. All tests have passed, the core system is ready to go, and initializing. Our profile is steady. Particles are rapidly multiplying. Amazing. And the game is mostly focused on just enjoying the JRPG combat and going into it. There is story, but it's not an intensely in-depth story. A lot of the story is up here up front, and then it's just a little bit here and there. Once we get into the game, you'll see, but a lot of it's about actually building your home area and unlocking more classes and just enjoying pure JRPG turn-based combat while exploring and building resources. I'm trying to shut it down, the reaction's still ongoing. It's self-sustaining, but how? And no, I'm not going to be doing a full narration like I've been doing Exocolonist, between Exocolonist on Wednesday and all of my recording for my video today. I just don't have it in me to narrate everything on my extra stream tonight. Trying to ventilate the particle chamber. The chamber is empty, but the reaction is still growing. I can see something through the portal. Someone? Who could it be? Oh, we're gone. Bye, Claire. Hey, new person was right. She's here. She just got here. Yep, just got sucked through. Claire! Need to get up. Indeed, what just happened? Why do you look so familiar? Wonder why. My name is also Claire Quinn. Well, another version of you. Yay, timey-wimey stuff. Lots of questions and answer them. Yes, we have time cults as well, trying to chase us down. Which is the main loop of this game, really. We have the roguelike progression stuff, just kind of going through, doing stuff, trying to find resources and keep going, and mostly dealing with the time cult that we have to deal with. Now we're into the good old JRPG combat. Summoning some extra people to go with us. Shift will change the hero's position in party. The hero will return to the original position after the battle. Nice, simple. Lots of games probably do it. See the drones in yellow, letting us know it's halfway to dead. Various weapons have different range. Melee's close range. Ranged weapons are long range. Plenty of stuff that we all should know from playing various RPGs. I'm in tutorial mode, so this is the only thing I can do. I can shoot things in the back with a pistol. Once we get further into the game, we can never switch Claire out of the party, but everyone else, we can choose whatever, and there will be plenty of choices going forward. Zeke, I believe, is a wrestler, so we'll do clothesline and other wrestling moves. Claire just has the pistol for now, though Claire gets some spiffy techniques later. The other one's the monk class, I believe. There are a ton of different interesting classes. Can't remember them all. You've got your standards like knight, mage, etc. I think like clown is one of the classes, and maybe like businessman. When you get to 100 of them, you get some interesting ones going on. We're going to conduit space now. Just bonding with our alternate self a little bit. So, if anyone else has played roguelike games before, you'll probably be familiar with the progression somewhat like this. Later on, the path is more divergent, but you'll just kind of see all these random points with a little bit of guidance of what they are. It's kind of just randomly constructed. Effectively, this is an endless JRPG type game, which I go back and forth whether or not I should be using JRPG, as it's a mixed term at this point. But specifically, you know exactly what you're getting into when I use it for this. But you can see what's coming up, where we're going. Now we're at a next cultist outpost, and we're just gonna be dealing with this one, another tutorial fight. We see someone that looks like our wrestler, Zeke. Cultists can have husk bodies of them. Yay, more than a pistol. We have skills now, and there is a lot of variability to all of this. But no one needs healing right now, so no need to use the medkit. learning about the next layer now. As we play, we get Time Break Chronicle points, or Time Break points. And they allow us to do extra skill things. Time Break text can manipulate time in various ways. Many texts to discover. Our main character still can't use them. No one... Oh, Zeke is hurt decently, so we will clear or heal Zeke. I'm allowed to put things in stasis now. Now we just need to finish the fight. As I just said, we can change the speed of the game to slower or faster. I think it was defaulting to 3 because that's where I had set it in general. So normally it's a little bit slower, probably 1. We can go even faster. Once you know what you're doing, is nice and easy just to get through the battles and keep going. This battle's being much meaner than the last one. We took out the wrestler that was doing a ton of damage. We get gear, relics are equipment we can equip, particles are the stuff we can use. And on to the next jump. I believe I can go into the menu yet, so we will just continue. This one, it looks like it's friendly, just a chest. In the chest, we will get bombs, medicine, and revive. And on to the next one. And we are about to rescue our first people. End up just randomly encountering them and being able to rescue them. Doing the tutorial, so these ones are set in stone, but future, it's not all set in stone, it's all random paths. Let them out, and all of a sudden we have a ranger, I think. Yep, ranger. Yana, I believe. Now we have a 5th party member. Hey, Tuna. How are you tonight? I'm not surprised it's your first time hearing about it. It's not well talked about. I imagine once it comes out of early access, it might get a little bit more traction. It's been sitting in early access for a while. Once it comes out, it probably will get noticed. From the bit I played, it was well polished and interesting. I was enjoying the gameplay loop. I just tend to leave a lot of early access games until they're closer to finish before I really dive into them most of the time. As right now, there's no true end to this game as far as I know. Though they're getting close. I was reading the update notes before I jumped on to do this one. They're adding Act 5 sometime real soon, and then there's just Act 6 after that, which has the last few character classes they're planning to add. But I believe this one's been in early access since 2020. We're just unlocking for the main character Claire the ability to transform into different forms. We'll get more after this. But the first one we get is the mech form, or armor form, where you get to put on a suit and do extra stuff. So, a lot of early access indie games end up building themselves up in chunks. They get the gameplay loop down really well, and then build out the first act, the second act, the third act, and add the endgame stuff later. They just add more content as it's going on. This game in general is not designed to be super story heavy, so it's not a big deal it doesn't have an ending. It's designed to be basically an endless gameplay loop of JRPG, RPG combat. Just turn-based, classic, what most people would think of when you say a Japanese RPG. Traditional, class-based, turn-based. We got a bunch of different jobs to play with, a bunch of different skills to mess with. Once I get to the town, I'll be able to show off more everything about that. We're still all in the tutorial right now. But, like, Wensho is a monk, Zeke is a wrestler, Claire is main character, Yana is a ranger, and there are 70-some different classes in this game. And we will get to mix up the party and build out a lot of stuff going forward. I covered it a little bit earlier, but you weren't quite here. We're in the tutorial zone. Oh. Getting the chance to open the party member menu now. So I'll get to show off a little bit of what this RPG has to offer. So, eventually, be able to mess with all the skills here. Each hero class has intrinsic skills and skills that will be able to swap out, build up. You can level them up. You can level up each skills. As you use the classes, they get stronger. You get EXP for the skills to build up. There's a lot of little systems going on in this game. Like, I'm not going to bother using any skills on this character, but you can unlock more skills for this one. You can switch this to even different skills on this character. Clear here. You can select different forms to start with. And then each of those different forms have a different set of skills for Claire. Because Claire is main character and just has a ton of different stuff going on. So, Claire's skill system allows you to do all that. And these characters get skill points from leveling up. So, these 4 have 1 skill point already. So I can choose any of these skills and level them up once, and they have 3 level limits or whatever. And you get skill points from leveling up some. As you can see, I can also get encyclopedias to level up some stuff. How you want to level up really depends on you. In my limited playtime of this, it didn't seem like there was too much of a way to go super wrong with that. I can always switch the game difficulty up and down, depending on where I want to go. Beyond skills, there's different relics I can equip that will change how the characters have. They're the equipment for the stuff. But I can only equip relics in the main town. There's various items that we can get in the game as well. This is one of the relics that we got, which increases the power and toughness by so much. Each of the characters also have their own quests to go after. Yep. Yeah, it's basically billed as a RPG with a ton of different heroes to mess with and chase all the stuff with. It just, while it does have a story, it's not designed to be this grand, sweeping story to play with, but instead just a ton of combat and JRPG systems to play with, and a ton of different characters to play with, and a ton of combat, just to kind of do short bursts of RPG stuff. The goal is kind of just to do RPG runs in short bursts and kind of get a full, complete sense progression that way. You get points for defeating bosses, and then there's the quests for each of them, and each person has their own set of unique quests that are a little bit different from each other. And each character has a little bit of backstory. Nothing too crazy. The reason Quinn up here doesn't have too much is because Quinn and Claire are same person, just alternate versions. But can change the formation as well, which is pretty standard, but as you can see, it's a 6-person party member. Oop, that put me out of the game. I was playing slot 2. But we shall just continue and get to the actual meat of the game, ideally. Because we're just still looking at the tutorial stuff. We haven't even gotten to the town building aspect of this whole thing. As there's a huge town building aspect to this whole game, too. yes, finding out we have alternate timelines that we went way differently with ourselves. And one went the long and devoted route, and the other is just a garage genius. But I personally always kind of a fan of timey-wimey shenanigans, so even if the story is not the deepest, I'll always enjoy just things being excused by, timelines are weird. And I only got 2 hours into the game or so I've got no clue if there are even more clears out there. And other heroes get weaker as we continue on. Various mechanic effects. And a random encounter again. And with it, we will fill out our party. Never hurts to have 6 people. And we get the priestess, Lydia. And this all looks fine. I suppose I should quickly use all the skill points. What do you want, Claire? You should be in armor, probably. Lydia... Ray's not a bad thing. And... pets are fun. So let's level up a pet. And off to the unknown. We find the main villain, who's trying to anchor and stabilize the villain or universe, or make use of Claire's anchoring the universe. So much for a full party, though. I have mech suits. That doesn't seem fair. Well, we have full control now. Let's see. Now Claire can transform into another form, which is good against the mech suits. And we learn that the main character can learn skills from every other hero that you save and work with. So ultimately, Claire will have over 100 different skills that she can learn. We'll just set a bomb. Bombs are good, right? So Zeke can just work on taunting and take the damage. Just tactical control. Work on working together with all the whole party and surviving this. Yay, one's dead. Ooh, Priestess is almost dead. And we're pulled from the battle. Yeah, we're just getting through the tutorial now. Should be going to the town right after this, where we'll be able to look at everything the town has to offer, at least the base stuff. I do play non-indie ones from time to time. I mean, I did play Persona 3 the one time. I tend to play a lot of indie games, though. I just tend to gravitate towards them. But, like, I will eventually get around to, well, I was about to just say, play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. When I get around to playing that, I want to really just sit down and sink my teeth into it. So I need to clear my plate of a bunch of stuff. I need to get a couple videos made up in front and other stuff. And as you might have been able to tell by my YouTube feed, I've been pumping out Balatro videos. I also, instead of getting ahead of stuff, decided to do stuff like the last time on Exocolonist. Yeah. I'm enjoying what I'm doing for the most part, and that's all that matters. But yeah, I got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth day one. It's installed on my PS5. I'll get to it eventually. I still need to play the Yuffie DLC as well. Baldur's Gate 3 is on my list eventually, but I'm still waiting for that one to get a bit cheaper. Since I will be playing that one with my spouse, I need to get 2 copies because we each want our own screen. And while I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it, I really don't want to drop $120 on it. I kind of would like it to be under 100, so I'm waiting for about a 25% off sale on it. It keeps only going 10%, so I'll just keep waiting, and in the meantime, it will keep getting patched and being better. Like, I'm also a fan of, like, the Tales of series, but I play those almost strictly co-op. So Tales of the Arise is sitting on my shelf right above me, but I haven't really touched it because they removed the co-op from it. I can actually just look up and see what other games are up there that I haven't touched very much of that I should have. Like, I enjoy the Disgaea series. I've sunk a ton of hours into that. I need to play some more of that. But like, for the purposes of my stream, I could focus on some of the more popular games, but I enjoy the indie ones, and other people are playing the more popular ones, so I kind of just enjoy highlighting a lot of the indie games. So we're on to the town stuff. Town is just made of energy, and we'll be able to use the particles we have to build up the town. And these are just the starting buildings. Even in the 2 hours or so I played, I unlocked some more buildings beyond this. And leveling up the town makes the main character stronger too. But like, especially in the last so many years, I got into roguelikes a lot, just because I like the simple progression of being able to do a run in a few hours and unlock stuff for future runs, but feel like I got something done and not have to commit myself completely to it, because when I have this big sprawling game, I kind of tend to feel like I need to just sink myself completely into it. And as you can see with my Balatro time, I can do that at times, but I tend to do it better when I can do it in small chunks instead of all at once. Though we'll also see if me streaming changes that at all, because I'm already doing better at playing games since I started streaming. But onto the buildings. Each of the buildings allow us to do various things. You can see which skills Claire's borrowing from the heroes here, but we can also buy upgrades for each of the buildings. And each of those upgrades has upgrades too. So the inn can get a kitchen, a bar, a brewery, magician space, gym, pet housing, storage space, and each of these different things do different things. We can also buy various extra stuff. But here's just a glimpse at all of the heroes in the game. The The ones lit up are the ones we have unlocked. So the two we haven't met are the Fire Mage and the Knight. These are the base Wanderers. There's also Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and Act 4. Act 5 is about to be added, and then Act 6 will be down there eventually. But every single one of these shadows right now can be found and unlocked in this game and are completely unique, have their own set of skills to unlock, level up different quests. Yeah. So that's the inn building. This one has all of our records showing what heroes are favorites. And its own set of things to level up. And the temple is where we mess with relics. And its own sets of things to level up. And I want to say I have 5 buildings in my other save. So as you get deeper, more and more systems get added to this game still. So, yeah. Lots of stuff to do with all of this. Like, this relic's not bound to anyone, so we can bind it to someone. It adds to power and toughness, so we can just throw it on the wrestler. Just glance at all the upgrades real quick. And you know what? All heroes gain 5 base power. Doesn't sound very exciting, but sounds very solid, so we will just do that one. And from there, we just start going out on missions, gaining resources, finding people, eventually advancing the axe, and building up the town. And this is the cycle for the game. You will encounter a random story as you go along, eventually advance the story. It's explaining up here. You can recon stuff, but once you finish the act, you can go there, and then you can continue searching the same act you were playing to make sure that you find all the characters, since they will not just instantly all show up, they will randomly show up on your paths. And there's different recon missions to try to do in the area. Just pick up the top one. We can bring the knight with us instead of the empty slot. And we'll just call this party good. And then, if you thought 6 party members wasn't enough, we can bring in reserves, too. We only have the 1 extra character, so our reserves are made up of just them. Pick our items, and then we go. Unlike the tutorial one, you can already see in the background, there are multiple paths to take. But you fail, you keep your rewards. You get various effects on you. Let's just go with the boring one. But we can look at the whole map. Do we have a way to look at this? this all looks the same. I don't think I have an easy way to check what these are. But we were told earlier these are the rescue points, I believe. So if we chase this path here, we'll have 2 chances to collect people. So I don't think it was the crystal. The crystal was some other bonus. If we want to try to find some new classes, we'll just chase this path here, go down here, come back up here, and then take the boss. So we'll go down this path. Let's see what's in this unknown. That's totally fair. The style progression won't be for everyone. Like I said, I enjoyed the concept of this because sometimes I get in the mood just for a short RPG of this nature, but don't want to play a big scrawling game. I'd never really come across another game that gave me that turn-based RPG nature of this nature. That I could do in a small burst. So it was kind of nice to find something that let me just play and fight quickly. But it's also part of the reason I was doing it on a short stream tonight, because I figured this one wouldn't appeal to everyone. Just figured I'd show it off and see if it appealed to anyone, since it's on sale right now. I think it's an interesting concept, but a lot of times, some of the things I think are interesting are definitely just for some people, not everyone. I don't have myself set in anything. Let's see. So many things to do. I'm not super familiar with this game. Thus, I end up thinking a lot with all of this. It looks like the enemies are dying. That's good. and down. Do another random encounter, and then most of the rest of this should be pretty quick. Oh no, enemies that call more enemies. Never great things. Check the wrestler, and then we will just strike that. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know a way to go in deep detail about what I'm doing. I'm making this up as what I'm doing, and don't know how to make this super exciting. I am zoning out like I usually do with this type of stuff, because this type of combat is type of stuff that I tend to just like to zone out in general. So I apologize for that. It's kind of what I enjoy about the turn-based combat. In most games, I get to just figure it out and just relax while playing. But get a vending machine now, which is a new thing. And then the chance for getting a recruit. Looks like we're getting Pirate Captain. Naval Captain. The nice part is my party members seem to heal up after each battle. There shouldn't be anything too hard going on with all of this. Continue placing bombs and doing the combat, and yep. Yeah. Yeah, the soundtrack to it's fun. I'm trying to remember how many different songs that I countered during it all. Smash with the shield. So it would depend on what game it is. Like, I eventually did that when playing Disgaea 2 back with my friend Jasper. But I also put close to 500 hours of that in. So after hour 200 or so, we got really tired of hearing the same few songs over and over again. So we ended up, switching so we could just listen to our own music as we continued to mess around in Item World and tried to 100% that game. I do not recommend trying to 100% Disgaea 2. We never succeeded. I love the soundtrack to Disgaea, don't get me wrong, but the same song for hundreds of hours, or even switching just one, eventually becomes a thing. What I ended up doing was just grabbing a bunch of the Disgaea soundtrack and listening to the Disgaea soundtrack as a whole during it, instead of just the limited selection that I was allowed during Item World. Just like, they did a remake of Chocobo's Dungeon that someone didn't think something through. That game has an amazing soundtrack, unless you're playing co-op. If you play co-op in the Chocobo's Dungeon, everybody's whatever, I don't remember the full name, but the remake that came out a few years ago, it replaces the entire soundtrack with a single looping version of the Chocobo theme. And it's a fine version of the song, but it's the only song and you lose access to the entire beautiful soundtrack. So my solution was to mute the game and just locate a playlist of the entire soundtrack and play the soundtrack instead. But I still don't understand what they were thinking by making it so you could only listen to the one song while playing co-op. It was absolutely maddening. Ultimately, we did not get super far into the game because of that. Oops, I killed Claire. Seems like it doesn't matter. Claire will revive regardless. Now we have the Pirate Jack. So, it would depend, but in general, no, there's not going to be any permadeath. Some games are a little bit harsher about it. This game, as I said, we're just going to lose them from the party for a bit, and then you'll be able to go grab them again. You can use them on any run. There's no big loss in this game if you die. You just have to start all over and you get the resources from your run. It's pretty low stakes in that way. So there's two different things with the rogue. There's roguelikes and roguelites. And this one technically falls a bit more under, or would be more of a roguelite. The light allows for progression between runs, where you can give yourself boosts, and there's a lot less permanent effects, etc. And I'm going to screw up labeling these things all this time. I probably wrote roguelike instead of light. Roguelike are the ones that you're always going to start the same way. Maybe you unlock new decks, etc., but you're always going to start with the same resources for the most part, and it's going to play out the same way. The lights tend to get easier as you play more. You unlock extra boosts, and the characters will level up and gain extra skills. So it's a small, subtle difference, but it's all based on the original Rogue game, which I have this in a script ready to go at some point. But late 80s, early 90s, it was its own little game that people have built around, like how you have the Souls genre now. Rogue was a game that this was. It was just a stupid hard game that as soon as you died, you had to start over and build everything up again. And that's what this entire genre was built upon. But people eventually were like, what if we allowed you to actually get better? And thus, instead of roguelike, you got the roguelite. A lighter, easier version of it. So you eventually could actually beat stuff. But the line is so blurry because technically, as long as you start, your run doesn't start with any bonuses, it's still a like, as far as I know. So something like the Binding of Isaac, which you start with no inherent bonuses aside from your character stats, is still a like. But because you unlock so many more powerful items that instantly make things easier, it borders onto being a light. So it's really hard and the line is blurry, and because it's only one letter difference, I don't blame people for being confused in general. But like, permadeath is very uncommon in a lot of these games anymore anyway, aside from being at the end of the run. Most of these games, as soon as you die, you're going to have to restart at the beginning of what you were doing. Some of them you get revives in. Especially if you're playing co-op, there's usually a way to revive each other. Like, if I end this run, I'm going to start at the beginning, but now we're going to have Jack unlocked. And if I get to here, I'll have this character unlocked. The reason to keep progressing is to get more resources to build up the town and the characters. If I was playing one of the many roguelike card games I have, the point to progress is to build up tiers on my stuff so I can unlock new cards to get in later runs. Those ones, if I die, yep, I gotta start at the beginning. There's no way to start later. But the entire genre is very varied despite so many of the games having that same core mechanic of you start a run, when you fail, you gotta start over. Oh no, wolves! Priestess can just continue to pray. And you can just hit everything, or not. You can be hit by everything, apparently. Like my bombs. I should really increase the number of bombs we can place. But beyond that, for some permadeath games, then you have some tactical games that like to lean heavily into the permadeath. modern Fire Emblem games are no longer heavy into the permadeath stuff, but the older ones definitely were. I believe it's still an option in the modern ones. The Valkyria Chronicles games, which is another series I enjoy, need to play the newer ones of. Also, very much have an option for permadeath. I may have let a character or two die just because I got tired of hearing their catchphrases. I personally am not a huge fan of a lot of stuff with permadeath. It definitely can raise the stakes. Oof. This is going poorly. Die. Can end this in time. There, everyone's back up. It's perfectly fine. Get to rescue. No clue on this one. Level up that. Let's pray for everyone. So, if you enjoy the challenge, that's great. For me, I can enjoy it sometimes, but most of the time, I am just not looking to be permanently punished by something. It's the same reason I tend not to like the Souls game. Like, you know, I can go get my souls back if I play them, but if I die, I feel like I just lost a bunch of time, and it's a funny little thing with my enjoyment of the whole rogue-light genre, where if my run ends, I gotta start over. But for some reason in my brain, I can't resist going back and having to go collect my souls or whatnot in Souls-like games, and thus, I feel like I'm wasting time doing that. I feel like I'm wasting time if I don't do that, and thus I just don't feel like I have a good time ratio with it. When my characters permanently die, then I feel like the time that I invested into them ends up being a big waste. It's a lot of stuff that just psychologically I just don't love. And sometimes with permadeath, I could do it, but most of the time, I'm not so much looking for a challenge that's going to make me have to try really hard, as much as I'm looking for interesting mechanics to mess with. And that's why I end up with a lot of indie games on my plate, because a lot of times I'm not looking for this balanced game looking to give me a fair challenge. I'm looking for this weird game looking to make me play in a different way. Like, I'm not bad at video games, but I'm definitely not the best in the world at them. I'll eventually be playing some games that, you know, show off the fact that I'm decent at most games. I'm not going to set any world records, but I'm also not going to make you, you know, just sit there and laugh at how terrible I am. I'll definitely be doing some platformer action games at some point, and You'll be sad at me at times, but, you know, we'll have fun and we'll get through it. But most of the time anymore, I'm usually on easy or normal. I usually don't want to go on the hardest and super challenge myself. I tend to just want to be easy and breezy and not super frustrated at a game. Sentinel, apparently. Let's switch out some of this. Some of these real quick. Don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just pick stuff at random. Yeah, you'll probably notice over time some odd playstyles in me, where I'll be doing Balatro and doing stuff to challenge myself, and then other times not be challenged myself. It all depends on the game for me and what I want to get out of it. I'm sure at some point I'll find a game where I'm absolutely adoring the permadeath mechanic. Some of these eggs dead. I'll spawn more eggs. Fire Mage is burning himself to death. Stop spawning eggs. let's see. Back to this. Heal everyone up a bit. We're all good. Boss is going down a little bit at least. And hopefully we'll kill it soon. Health is good on the party though, so... Zane's almost dead now. But we have a priestess for that. Healing word. That looks better. More eggs being left. Zane will just melt more armor. After a little. Let's see. Blessing to you. And healing word again. To Zane. And hopefully you don't kill yourself, but if you do, you do. Just need the big spider dad. There we go. Everyone got a skill point for killing the boss for the first time. And some are getting more for completing quests. Got a lot of random stuff for beating the boss. Yeah, completed a run. Gathered particles in town. Now, that's just the general cycle of the game. Level up the town more. After you do that, you would start a new one. Completed the Brood Mother. So we do the other two. After we complete those two, Act 1 would be done. We'd unlock Act 2. That's the general cycle of this game. Like I said, might not appeal to everyone, but I kind of want to just give a quick run through in case anyone thought just playing through a random RPG of this nature might be fun in between your other games. That's always been my plan. I am looking forward to the 1.0 coming out. I'll end up sticking this on my Steam Deck and just playing it in between my other games calmly. I have no real plans to stream this game beyond this. I just wanted to show it off since it was under $10 on sale right now. Figured, why not? Maybe it'd catch someone else's interest. The other game I was tempted to show off tonight isn't on sale at all, so I will just save that one for later. And that will be pretty much it for now, unless you have any other questions. I need to get back to cleaning and finishing up the video for tomorrow, which, despite being a literal short, and, well, I got a longer version too, is still taking me all day to do. Because shorts don't take as short as you would expect to make. At least not decent ones. Which I hope you find the one tomorrow decent. I'd been sitting on this run for a while. I talked about the basic of what the basis of it was a while back ago. I'm leaving a lot out of it, but it should be a little fun short to sit through and hopefully make you laugh, and hopefully the long version will make you laugh even more. Should just be a fun little thing tomorrow. Beyond that, hopefully the other stuff I'm doing tomorrow will eventually get up on YouTube. By the end of the month would be a good time frame, I think. Make no promises. Can't even be 100% sure it's usable. I would love to put most of my gaming shenanigans online at this point, but if it's not edible to be interesting to me, then I'm not gonna throw it out there and hope you find it interesting. I'm only gonna try to put it out there if I think it's interesting. I have a good 30 hours of Balatro videos that are not up there because they're just not that interesting. I do have about an hour more of stuff that I do need to edit at some point, but yeah, I only want interesting stuff out there. With that all being said, like I said, we'll see how these Thursday night ones go. They're never going to be super long. My spouse only plays for an hour or two with their friends, but I'll usually either do a little showcase on a game like this that just doesn't feel like it's something that I should showcase on the main stream that I'm trying to do, or I'll just try one of those chiller streams at some point, just sitting back, doing Infinite Craft, or if I have more people to talk to, just chatting with people and answering questions and whatnot. But for now, I still don't know who all's showing up, so yeah. But I have a whole list of games that I'll probably get around to showing off at some point that just are not mainstream material as far as I'm concerned. And with that all being said, hope anyone out there is having a good day and continues to have a good day. Have a good one. Bye.